What's happening, boys and girls? Jim here, RC80. Today is March 28th, 2025. I have my brother Ian over here as well. Getting ready to do an unboxing on a Traxxas Trx4m and Defender. You guys and gals read the description, you know what's going on. Vehicle belongs to my brother, so we're going to let him crack it open, pull the vehicle out of the box, inspect it, and get a good look at it. And then we'll go ahead here and take the camera off the tripod and zoom in on it and see what everything has to say. Get yourself into a position where you can see what's going on. I'm going to move the camera into a position so we can get a better look at what's going on. Ian basically was liking my TRX4M Bronco and the TRX4M High Trail Edition F-150. And started looking at the Defenders, and there you go. Once again, we're in a partnership program with Amain Hobbies and Avant Links. But this vehicle was actually purchased off of Amazon, and it came from Traxxas directly. So there's a quick look at the truck. How do you like it there? It's well spinning around, look at the box, inspect it. We're gonna pull the camera off the tripod, or at least move it in closer after you get a good look at it.
Yeah, that's cool. Actual size. Alright. Yeah, that's cool.
We'll do a proper unboxing, getting close to it. I'm just sliding past and getting a view on the side here underneath your armpit. Sorry for laughing, Dave. But yeah, it's a cool looking truck, cool looking box. Like I says, Land Rover on it. And you bought the orange one, right?
That's it.
So that's that one right there. It's available in orange, silver, red, green, blue. Am I missing one? Tan.
Tan.
And that's it. 6 colors. Does it now? Well, bring it up close to the camera here and let's take a peek at any kind of dents and blemishes you might have on the box. Oh yeah, I see it right there in the corner.
That's it otherwise. Yeah, that's it otherwise.
The outside of the box, the cardboard box that it came in looked okay.
Yeah, it did.
I didn't really see any dents in that. So that must have been something that was beforehand. Something that happened at Traxxas's facility.
Very possible.
Since that was shipped right out of McKinney, Texas.
Alright, well, let's dig in a little further here.
I'll let you crack the tape on it. Sorry for laughing, Dave. Once again, I want to read everything off that's on the box. But you got your tape cracked. We'll go ahead here and read everything off real quick, and then we'll slide the thing out of the box and continue from there. All right, we've got the camera in a little bit closer. Flash is turned off. If I turn the flash on, we're going to have an annoying glare right there. So I'm going to zoom in with some picture-in-picture zooming and read everything off to you. TRX4M, Land Rover. It's cool that they've got the Land Rover badge up there, above and beyond. Defender, little mountain backdrop in the background there. Blue Defender on the cover. Scale and trail crawler, 1/18 scale, Traxxas. Spin the box over around to the other side. We have a red one, a blue one, silver, green, orange, and tan. So 6 different colors available. I like the silver one. Green one's pretty nice as well. Not too sure about what the tan one looks like in person, but my brother purchased the orange one. Over here underneath on the side, this product, little disclaimer here, is not meant for kids under the age of 14 years old. Adult supervision is required when running the vehicle, maintaining the vehicle, and especially charging the battery. So it says adult supervision for the charging the battery. The battery should be charged by an adult. Make sure to read all your warning signs over there, warning labels over here. We have all our other licensing and whatnot along down this side, so make sure to read all that stuff if you guys are interested in checking all that stuff out. Flipping the box around, we have the orange Defender right there, above and beyond Defender, Land Rover, scale and trail crawler, 1/18 scale, Traxxas once again. Pretty good looking truck. Notice it has a little window up here on the top portion. I didn't see that before, but that's kind of cool. Little oval shaped window there. Spinning around to the next side, they have a picture of the tan Defender, excuse me, and the orange Defender. Looks better on the side, I would have to say. Tan one looks pretty good as well. Some scale accessories, gas cans, high jack over here, farm jack. And then back around to the blue one. Flip the box over. We got a picture of the green one, actual size it says on the box. And then we have what's inside the box. We'll read all that stuff off. Balance our vehicle up here on some batteries. Now I'm in a partnership program with Amain Hobbies and AvantLink, so I'll leave links down below for things like our Trx4Ms if you guys are interested in purchasing one. Reading everything off, what's inside the box: 1/18 scale Trx4m ready to drive Land Rover Defender body, TQ 2-channel 2.4 gigahertz radio system, included lithium polymer battery and charger, electronic control module ECM 2.5, that is your ESC/receiver all in one. We have a Titan 180 87 turn motor, a quality tool set, quick start guide, and all that you'll need, what you'll need to run your model is 4 AA alkaline batteries sold separately. They say you can purchase them from your hobby store, but you can purchase those from anywhere. Skill level 1, no previous experience with radio controlled models is required. Model requires a minimum amount of setup and maintenance or support equipment. And then it says the same thing here in a few different languages. I believe in French, Spanish, and then German over on the other side. Next side of the box is what the vehicle actually looks like underneath the chassis, the frame, and all that good nonsense. And once again, we'll zoom in our camera here and get a better look at everything, so you guys can see exactly what we're looking at here. Steel frame rails on either side, 45-degree turning radius, 87 turn, reverse rotation, Traxxas Titan 180 motor, heavy-duty steering servo with metal gears, I believe, on the inside from what it looks like in pictures. Don't quote me on that. Oil-filled shocks with a plastic body. Measured these on the High Trail Edition, and they were right around 52 millimeters. I measured the Trx4m Bronco, and it was 51.57 or 51.7 something. I'm not quite too sure, but close enough that it's probably 52 millimeters. So I'm almost assuming that these have the same size shocks, or that this has the same size shocks or length as the Traxxas High Trail Trx4Ms. So probably a 52 millimeter shock, technically speaking. Picture of our ECM, our 2.5 electronic control module, which is your ESC, your receiver, as well as a light control system all in one. If you were to get the Pro Scale lighting kit for the vehicle, via one-wire plug-in, controls the headlights, taillights, brake lights, hazard lights, and I want to say high beams and low beams. I'm not too sure on that. But one-wire plug-in, so electronic speed controller, receiver, as well as a light control system with your ESC there, or your ECM. And moving on, factory installed LED lights. They've got those installed in the bumper. Same thing with the Trx4m Bronco. Lights are installed in the bumper. The High Trail Edition F-150, they have them in the actual headlight buckets in the grille, which look a little bit better. No taillights on either vehicle. If you want to get taillights for the truck, you can purchase the Traxxas Pro Scale light kit for right around $25 US, which has headlights, taillights, high beams, low beams, hazards, and brake lights. I want to say all via one wire off of your ECM. Now, I measured the voltage off the ECM during my Traxxas Trx4m Bronco video unboxing, and that's putting out 6 volts. So the Traxxas Trx4, the regular full-size 1/10 scale Trx4s, use a low-voltage lighting system. I know this is a little bit above and beyond, but they use a low-voltage lighting system that I think is right around 3.5 volts or 3.6 volts. This one does not. It uses a regular 6-volt system. So if you wanted to, you could wire up your own LED system to it using aftermarket LEDs, because this is putting out 6 volts. So you'll be okay with that. And if you wanted to switch out your ECM in the future for a brushless combo, let's say, and a different receiver, as long as your new receiver is putting out 6 volts of electricity and only 6 volts of electricity, you won't have to worry about blowing out your factory LED bulbs. So you could run the Traxxas Pro Scale system on an aftermarket setup with a different receiver, as long as it's putting out 6 volts, and you shouldn't have a problem with the lights on that. And you could also wire up your own system to this using aftermarket bulbs like Racing, if you didn't want to buy the Traxxas Pro Scale kit. So just want to throw that information out for you guys, that it's putting out 6 volts off of the ECM for the LEDs. All right, moving on. 2S lithium polymer battery and USB charger included. a 750 milliamp 2S LiPo with Traxxas ID connector. No balance cord on this battery, so you cannot charge that off of a traditional digital lithium polymer charger. If you ever want to put a storage charge on this battery, you'll need a full-size Traxxas ID charger in order to do so. It does include a 2 amp USB fast charger along with it, which is not a bad charger, really. It charges the battery in a decent amount of time. It does have a few little idiot lights on there. It knows lets you know whether the battery is dead or needs to get charged. But you can't put a storage charge on the battery with that charger. And if you ever want to get good longevity out of your battery, putting a storage charge on it is always best for long-term storage or just storing it in between runs. And you'll never be able to do it with this charger. You'll have to kick out an additional $59 or $60 for the base model Traxxas ID charger and a special connector, probably an additional $10 or $5 for the special battery connector if you want to put a storage charge on that. All right, so that being said, moving on to our tires, Canyon Trail tires, and then moving on from there, we have a clipless mounting system once again for our body, which is very cool, doing away with body pins and in favor of the quick connect tabs on the bottom. All right, so that is everything on the box. We'll go ahead here and pull her out and see what she looks like. All right, well, since it's my brother's truck, we're going to let him slide it out of the box. We read off all the particulars there on it. Camera's kind of low there, Ian, so keep it in mind. See what side you got on it. You see a manual on the side, and a quick start guide, and our little wrench. Let's see the manual here real quick there. So since it is another vehicle sort of. So we got our Trx4m High Trail Defender manual, quick start guide here, full manual. Take a picture of the QR code for the PDF file on that. And then on the back we have our regular manual, which doesn't have anything in it really other than some blow-up schematics and then an entire list of all the parts for the vehicle. Our included high-quality tool set here is a couple shock spacers, really just two on this one. That's funny. 2 shock spacers on this one, 2 hex wrenches on it, and a regular cross wrench, a regular full-size box wrench or cross wrench. Now that's interesting because I haven't put this away yet, but this is what came in the Trx4m Bronco. It came with 3 shock spacers, 2 hex wrenches, and just the 5mm wrench, T-wrench, for the wheels. So they kind of went different on the kit there. 1 less spacer and a full-size cross wrench. So that's interesting. Oh, I see the truck.
Yep.
Battery. Your USB charger. Looking at the charger, it does have a few little idiot lights on here if the camera is going to focus in on it. Flashing red, nothing on the side, that means it's ready. A solid red, flashing green, battery needs to get charged. Solid green, solid red, the battery's charged, and flashing red is an error. It does work pretty good for charging. Little weird 3-wire plug on it. Before you go any further, let's take a look at our battery. 750 milliamp battery pack. I'm probably going to damage the cardboard here because I have a habit of doing that. Yep, every time. Wrecker of boxes. Sure there's a joke in there somewhere. And there's a look at our battery. Sorry for laughing, Dave. Traxxas ID 750 milliamp battery pack. Once again, no balance plug on this, just this weird little 3-prong connector. And they also make a 1000 milliamp battery pack in case you were looking for a little bit more runtime out of that. And then let's take a look at the transmitter here next. Traxxas TQ transmitter, standard edition, full-size transmitter, runs on 4 AA batteries, up lines. Nice and shiny.
Okay.
We're gonna have to label that.
Yeah.
I've been putting a piece of masking tape across the bottom, and I wrote white Trx4m Bronco for the white Bronco and brown F-150 for the F-150. Here's our Traxxas TQ transmitter, 4 AA's, battery slot down here. Follow your polarities, positive to positive and negative to negative. Kids, be gentle with the battery covers.
I guess they don't give out batteries anymore.
Yeah, not for the receiver. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Hmm.
I'm telling kids to be gentle with the battery covers, and I'm just fumbling this thing around like mad. All right, taking a peek at the truck. Sliding her out of the package.
Yeah.
It's a cool looking little vehicle, really. I mean, another viewer told me that this
Nice.
Doug from Maine actually said that this was the best looking Trx4m in his opinion was the Defenders. You might have to unclip the body to get the plastic off, depending on how well it was wrapped. But Bronco, I had to unclip the body to pull the plastic off. Relatively easy. You take a peek at it here real quick, and then we'll show the audience what it looks like here. We'll get the camera in a little bit closer and get another closer, in-depth look at the truck. Once Ian gets done taking a peek at it here. Behind the front bumper and rear bumper. Little tabs, reach in underneath. Same thing in the back. First time. Might be close to the bumper, might be closer in a little bit further.
It's further in.
Alright.
Yeah,
It's definitely further in. Let's take a peek at your body if you don't mind.
No lights anyways.
So no included lights inside the body. Has a little bit of weight to it, there's no doubt about it.
There are lights on the bumper though.
A clear window up there. Does have headlight buckets once again. I can see where our bulbs will get inserted in here on the back edge. Taillight buckets as well on either side. Our tab for the back is right back here, which is a little bit further in versus the front. Cool looking body though, no doubt about it. The orange looks good. Good color choice in my opinion.
Yeah, I like it.
A little snorkel on there. A dorkle.
Some of the bright ones.
Yeah, it's kind of more of a duller orange, flatter orange. It's a good looking truck.
Yeah.
Alright, taking a look at their vehicle. Canyon Trail tires on it. Our ECM back here, oil filled shocks. The shocks feel a little bit more free moving than they do on the Bronco. I guess it depends on what day the vehicle was built, who was handling it, all that nonsense. Not too bad. Vertical mounted servo on the inside, servo on axle. You can see the servo articulating left and right when you articulate the suspension. It comes pretty close to the inside of shock towers there on either side. They do make a flat servo mount conversion for this. I'd like to see a servo in frame conversion for it at some point in time, which would probably maximize your articulation from left to right, ultimately speaking. All right, we'll get our camera off a little bit closer here and get a better look at the truck while it's sitting on the workbench. Truck back together, sitting on the bench. Check out the tires, and these babies are really, really supple. They have a lot of give, no foam in them, but man, these things are really, really flexible. Kind of buckling there a little bit. Traditional Canyon Trail tread on them, which are easy to put a custom tread pattern into. These babies are very soft. Very soft. Camera's going a little goofy here, guys and gals. My apologies. Checking out the Trx4m Bronco. No foams in these tires, but they don't feel nearly as like bendy as these. These are like really, really bendy. Really soft and supple. These feel like they're not as much give. And these feel a little bit more tacky. The tread, for sure. Same thing with the High Trail Edition tires. These definitely have a lot less give to them by far compared to these. These are just very, very flexible tires and pretty grippy, pretty tacky overall. So first observation there, looking at the tires. Like the way the suspension moves on this truck, like the way the truck looks. It's a cool looking truck. Pretty big, really, compared to the F-150. Oops, there's the first scratch on it there. Sorry again. Compared to the F-150. F-150 is definitely a large truck. But when it comes down to a real Land Rover Defender and a real 79 F-150 short box pickup, the Defender is probably a bigger body than the pickup in all reality. I'm sure a real full-size Defender would be bigger than this, than a short box full-size Ford pickup. But bigger tires on this one, once again, 51 millimeter tires on here, and I'm assuming that these are the same size as the Trx4m Bronco. I measured the Trx4m Bronco with a pair of digital dial calipers, and we had a little bit of slip room around either side of the caliper, and it was measuring 55 millimeters. And I want to say, I could be wrong on this, but I want to say Traxxas or Amain in the product description has the vehicle's tires listed at 57 millimeters. I want to say 57. But they measured 55. I'm not too sure what these measure at. I do have a set of J Concept tires over here. Some J Concept megalithics, and these are 57 millimeter tires. And I put these up against the Bronco tires, and they're essentially the same size. So maybe I'm measuring it wrong. Maybe the gauge was off. But these are 57s. They're in the bag, of course. The Canyon Trails actually look like they might be a little bit bigger. But we do have these in a plastic bag. So these might be 57 millimeters. I'm not too sure on that. We'll have to get the digital dial caliper out here and take a peek at that real quick. All right, so a pair of digital dial calipers. We'll open these babies up and try to see what these tires are. Wow. All right, so we have wiggle room here on either side. You guys and gals agree? And we're at 55.69 millimeters. So I'm guessing 55 millimeters on our tires here. These J Concept megalithics are supposedly 57 millimeters. They do have a plastic bag going around them. And they're measuring in at about 55 or 56. That's with slop around the bag. So they say 57, but these are close to 55 as well. So maybe, sorry for laughing there, maybe the 57s are actually closer to 55 millimeters. So nevertheless, on the information in Traxxas's or on Amain's website for the Trx4m Bronco, I want to say it states that the tires are 57 millimeters. These megalithics state that they're 57 millimeters. Not too sure what these say that they're stated at. We measured them at 55. I measured those tires at 55. We measured these tires at roughly 55. So your guess is as good as mine, guys and gals, whether they're 55 millimeters or 57 millimeters. We're showing 55 on the dial calipers, but they're saying 57 elsewhere. So there we go on that nonsense. Truck, cool looking truck once again. Scale size up against the Trx4m High Trail Edition vehicle. The High Trail is definitely significantly taller. 61 millimeter tires on that vehicle compared to the Trx4m Bronco. Not too sure. Bronco looks bigger. Checking out the window area on it. The gap in between here Looks a little bit wider by comparison. Technically speaking, an old school Land Rover such as this would be bigger than a SUV Bronco as well. Just throwing that out there, just for craps and giggles. Really, the Bronco is probably closer to the size of a Jeep Cherokee XJ, like a 2001 XJ in all reality. As far as the real one-to-one new style Broncos and old school Jeep Cherokees go, they're probably pretty similar in body size as far as those go. Land Rover Defender, once again, would be a much larger vehicle in scale terms. But still, great looking truck. They should play well together, I'd assume, since they were produced side by side essentially from Traxxas. So why shouldn't they play well together? Nevertheless, there's a good look at the truck. It's a good looking truck. I like the orange. It's cool. Ought to look pretty good with the headlight kit in it, or a taillight kit. Taillights are pretty basic, just a little dot right there. And the passenger side taillight is buried behind the high lift jack. All the accessories are basically melted onto the body, I believe. We'll remove our body here. And basically, the door handles would have probably little plastic pins on them. They shove them through the body and then melt them flat with an iron and adhere them to the body. I'd assume the same thing with our farm jack on the back. I'm not seeing any spots through the taillights where it's mounted to. It might be mounted to the whole taillight bracket assembly. But still, farm jack is blocking our taillights a little bit. So tinted windows on the body. You can get clear windows for this one as well if you're interested in that, getting those. We got our farm jack once again, spare tire area, just a plastic housing, and 2 Rotopack gas cans as well. Mirrors seem to be relatively robust, closer to the body. High Trail Edition F-150. Camera's going goofy here. That vehicle was given to me as a birthday gift from a channel subscriber. When it showed up, passenger side mirror was kind of hanging a little bit loose. I glued it back on there, rolled the vehicle over and out in the snow, broke the mirror back off, re-glued it back on again. But still a little bit fragile on the F-150 as far as the mirrors go. Bronco is a little bit better. Well, the mirrors on that are pretty solid. They look pretty solid compared to the F-150. The mounting post is a little bit more robust, a little bit thicker at the base, so it'll cross my fingers that it holds up well to rollovers and things of that nature. The Defender, I think these look probably the most solid out of the group, just because they're tucked in close to the body. The base is relatively thick down there. Might be a little on the thin side, but definitely thicker than what it is on the F-150. Probably thinner than what it is on the Bronco, but the fact that it's tucked in close to the body like that, inside of the fender flares here, crossing my fingers that it holds up well to rollovers. I think it'll probably hold up the best out of the group. So there's a quick peek at our body, full winch on the front. And taking a look at the chassis once again, the servo on axle down here, vertical mounted servo, which is okay, but gets a little bit tight when you're articulating the suspension. There's not much margin for error in here. So if you were to put longer shocks on the vehicle, I'm not too sure how that would come into play with your servo articulating in between our shock towers up here. It might start coming into contact. They do make a lay-down servo conversion kit for the Trx4Ms. Enduro makes one. Mias Racing makes one. I'd like to see a servo and frame at some point in time. I think that would be a cool little option for it. Once again, there is our motor, our Traxxas Titan 87 turn, reverse rotation, 180 size motor. Different companies make different motor kits for it. Amain Hobbies makes a couple different motors for it. Enduro makes a few different motors for it as well. There is brushless combos available as well with Fury Tech, and Enduro makes the Purple Viper brushless combo for it, and the Fat Viper brushless combo. I'm pretty sure you can get a Hobby Wing Mini 24 for this as well if you wanted to. I'm not too sure what route we'll end up going eventually with our vehicles. Traxxas does make a brushless conversion for the vehicle as well, with a plug-and-play ECM, which plugs into the lights and everything else. But it's only 2S capable, so a little bit of a bummer on that. Fury Tech system is 2S and 3S capable, Hobby Wing Mini 24 is 2S and 3S capable. The Endura Purple Viper system is 2S and 3S capable. I think Fury Tech makes their Python Pro ESC is up to 4S capable, and they make the Mini Komodo Revolver motor is up to 4S capable. So if you bought a Mini Komodo motor and the Python Pro separately, then you can make it up to 4S capable if you wanted to. But that was only with the 2000, I think, kV motor versus a 3500 or close to 3500. So nevertheless, there's a lot of different options that we can go with the vehicles, which is nice in the future. Shocks, once again, these are a little bit more free-flowing. It does have shock spacers I'm seeing here on the back of the vehicle. And once again, it did include 2 extras in the bag. So that's 4 shock spacers total on that. The Bronco, once again, came with 3 in the bag, and I'm not too sure what it had on the truck. I'm not too sure if I actually paid attention to that. Shocks definitely move a lot better on this than they do on the Bronco. Freer flowing. The Bronco is experiencing a lot of shock behind with that. We do have some D-ring mounts on the back of the bumper, which is cool that they include those on the back of the bumper. And same thing on the front bumper. Or maybe not. Yes, it does. There's a couple D-ring mounts right there. So that's cool that they have that. But nevertheless, there we go on that. Cool looking truck, no doubt about it. We still need to program our ESC on this thing and throw some batteries in our transmitter. We're going to set our ESC to crawl mode. There's 3 different modes for the ESC: sport mode, trail mode, and crawl mode. By default, it's set for trail mode, which is full forward, full reverse, and braking at the neutral position. In sport mode, you get forward and reverse, but you won't get brake until you hit reverse the second time. So probably be able to free roll in between forward and reverse. A little bit better for walking next to the vehicle or walking down a trail and taking the vehicle for a trail walk. We're going to move it over to crawl mode, which gives us full forward and full reverse. Like as soon as you hit reverse, it's going in reverse. There's no delay. And it automatically starts braking. So we're going to put ours into crawl mode. So we do have a battery charged up already from one of our other vehicles. So we're going to go ahead here and put that in that. We just need to throw some batteries in our transmitter real quick, and then we'll program our ESC, which is pretty easy to do. It's just a matter of putting our battery inside our vehicle, turning the vehicle on, and then pressing our easy set button down here and holding it. At that point in time, this little LED light will start to flash. 1 flash is sport mode, 2 flashes is trail mode, 3 flashes is crawl mode. So if we want it in sport mode, we'd wait for 1 flash, then we'd let off on our easy set button, and it would be in sport mode. If we wanted it in trail mode, we'd wait for 2 flashes, let off, and then it would be in trail mode. Crawl mode, once again, we'd wait for 3 flashes, take our finger off the easy set button, and then it would be stuck in crawl mode. And it's very easy to go back in and change it into any one of those modes at any given point in time. We're going to use the battery out of the F-150 here, which already has a little bit of a charge on it, to set our ESC. We will charge up this battery and take the vehicle out for a run. There is snow on the ground still, so we'll have to take the vehicle outside and acclimate it for the temperatures. Warning label here on our stock battery or a factory battery, we're going to remove that, but I recommend that you read the hazard warning here on the lithium polymer battery. Once again, no balance plug on this battery, so if you ever feel like putting a storage charge on here, you'll need to purchase a Traxxas ID quick charger and a adapter to go from this special little connector over to the quick charger. We did label the battery, orange Defender, labeled the transmitter, orange Defender as well, just so we don't get our transmitters confused. So we're going to go ahead here and turn our transmitter on. We're going to plug our vehicle in to the ECM, which is right here. Push that in all the way. Check our steering, which is 45 degrees of turning radius, which is pretty darn good for these little trucks to have a turning radius like that. You can hear the wind picking up outside, possibly some thunder going on out there. Trim is just a little bit off on our steering. I am turning it to the left. I did do the same thing with the High Trail Edition as well. Trim was just a little bit off. So once again, we're going to hold down our easy set button here and look at our indicator. We'll be waiting for 3 red flashes. 1 red flash will be sport mode, 2 will be trail mode, and 3 is crawl mode. Holding down our button, We got 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And we let up, and now we're in crawl mode. Once again, if we want to put it into sport mode, we can just push our finger on that button, and right there is sport mode. We want it in trail mode, put our finger on the button and wait for 2 flashes. 1, 1, 2, and there is trail mode. Once again, we want it in crawl mode, so we're going to go for 3 flashes. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and we are in crawl mode. Once again, pretty easy to change around. That gives us full forward and full reverse instantaneously, going into reverse as soon as you hit the reverse. If you put it in trail mode or sport mode, there's a delay going to reverse. You'll push it one time and there's nothing. That'll be like your brake, and then hit it again for reverse. So in crawl mode, reverse is right there, instantaneous, but it's braking on the way down, constantly braking. All right, so we're going to charge up the battery, put the vehicle outside, get it acclimating to the colder temperatures, and go see how this baby does in the snow. It ought to be pretty cool. Maybe we'll take out the Trxx4m Bronco or possibly the High Trail Edition F-150 to go along with it for that first run, just so we can see how it stacks up against the other vehicles. Definitely dig it. It is cool for sure. We're going to cut off this little warning tab right here and get rid of that so we're not looking at that. Be very careful when you're doing that you don't clip the wires on the vehicle. I'm going to use a pair of body scissors here and very carefully cut this tape here, which rips pretty easy. Put a little cut into it and was able to just rip the rest of that right off. So there goes that warning label. One less thing that we have to look at. We're going to do the same thing with our battery. Make sure, once again, guys and gals, that you read that warning label on your battery. Read that tag. Make sure you read them. And there we go on that nonsense. All right, slap our body back on. Love this clipless body mounting system. Looks outstanding with no body pins on there. There's no doubt about that. Looks beautiful with no body pins. And just the ease and the convenience of being able to snap that body down so quickly and detach it just as quickly. It's very convenient. Thumbs up to Traxxas for that little design. That is for darn sure. All right, so shutting off our transmitter, we'll charge up our batteries, set our vehicle out in the snow in a sled, plastic sled, with our tires elevated off the ground to create a barrier between the frost and whatnot. We'll get this baby acclimating, and we'll go take it out and see how she does. That'll be the next video. All right, so that is going to do it, boys and girls. Very much appreciated for y'all sticking around and watching the video. Traxxas Trx4m Defender. Awesome looking truck. Absolutely love it. Cool color in the orange. We have our Trx4m Bronco back there as well, and the High Trail Edition. Starting to get a collection of these, that is for sure. And definitely digging the platform, no doubt about it. Love the SCX24s, no doubt about that. But really starting to like the Trx4Ms as well. Great platform. All right, so that is going to do it, boys and girls. Very much appreciated for y'all stick around and watching the video. Questions and comments are always welcome. Look forward to seeing the run video, and we will see you all on the next one. Thanks again.